So, I'll tell you when to record. Let's give everyone a second to log on. I hope you guys are all having a good night. It is way past my bedtime. And I have Audrey on tonight with me. I'm so excited. And I spent like an hour preparing this from my heart. So this better flow out good. And I'm just so excited to talk to you guys tonight. This isn't going to be like a Zoom about like teaching you how to enroll or teaching you how to enroll customers. There's plenty of trainings on that. And Audrey might talk a little bit about that. She's really good about that. But there's so many things I want to talk about. I think the biggest thing is reducing fear. That's going to be a big one. I think fear literally allows us to put limitations on our life, our bank account, where like everything. Fear controls us and it's so ugly. So I want to give you real steps on how to eliminate that. Raise your hand or put in the comments, and don't act like you're too cool to post in the chat if you have ever experienced imposter syndrome, or if you know what that is. Basically, it's kind of like, I mean, Rachel Hollis has a podcast on it. Jenna Kutcher has a podcast on it. It's basically just like feeling like you're not worthy of the thing and feeling like maybe you have to hide behind. There you go. Kristen's putting up emojis. You have to hide behind certain things. And you can go ahead and record. Sorry, I'm just yapping over here. It'll tell me when it's recording. Okay, recording. So hi, welcome to the Zoom. I'm so excited. So I want you to put in the chat if you have ever experienced, everyone's emojing, imposter syndrome. And I want to start this out before I talk about that. I want to light a little fire. I want to show you how much is possible within the next 6 months. And don't roll your eyes and be like, well, nothing's changing. I want to show you the power of what can change, and no matter what damn storm, tsunami that you go through or what you're going through now has to reflect how your business looks when spring and summer get here. I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be raw, and I'm going to share something with you that really like no one knows. So obviously for those of you guys who don't know, I'm Katie, okay? I joined with them when she first got started, and my first year in this business was bonkers. I popped like 15 personally enrolled, 12Ks, everything was great. And then this time last year, and this is where I'm gonna get raw, because I want you to understand that when March, April, and May get here, it can look completely different than what it looks like now. So business was great, had all these personally enrolled auto club people, and then I didn't even go through a storm. It was literally like an ocean knocking out a city. That's what happened. I had a really rough winter, and I remember opening my check on Christmas Day. It was Tuesday of, Christmas was on a Tuesday last year, okay? And I opened up my paycheck. I remember where I was, what I was wearing, and I remember opening up, and it was the lowest paycheck I've ever had in this business because a lot of people were leaving my business. And it was like, I'm just gonna say it, it was the lowest check I've ever had, and it was like 500 something. And I sat there in that moment and I said, 2019 is almost here. I can have a pity party. I can let this bad day turn into a bad week and a bad month and another bad year, or I can wake the fuck up. I can realize who I am and what I can bring to the table. And that is what I did. And when that new year got here, I said, I'm not ever going to see a check like that again. And I got to work. I started enrolling. I invested it when I didn't have the money. I invested in a coaching program. I just started kicking ass. I knew that no one was gonna, like, nothing was gonna change if I didn't change. So I just started showing up more than I ever have when it was hard. I had to stay strong for my team. Here's the thing, y'all. You can't just be captain of the ship when everything's good, when everyone's popping, ranks, 4K, celebrate, hashtag girl gang. You gotta be captain of the ship when there's a storm, when the waves come in. You gotta lead your tribe because they're on that boat with you and they trusted you. And guess what? When May got here, my very first check in May was $4,900. From $500 to $4,900. So don't you dare tell me that life cannot look different in 6 months from now. It can look so incredibly different. In this company, if you don't hit the bonus next month, who cares? They always bring bonuses out. They bring them out in the winter and they bring them out in the early spring, okay? But all I'm saying is right now, the work that you're doing, sometimes it feels repetitive. And I know it's annoying. You're like, gosh, gotta get on another Zoom. You're in bed with your glasses on, no bra, just listening. It's repetitive, I know, but you're going to feel something tonight that's going to want to make you work harder, and you're going to feel a fire in your belly. Okay. And that's why you get on. You have to stay close to the fire. And I want to talk about imposter syndrome, because here's the thing. You cannot, your identity, your success is not tied to titles or numbers or achievements or figures. I used to think it'd be so cool to attach the word 6-figure mom on my Instagram bio. And then when I did it, I'm like, that's not even what I want people to know about me. I want them to know that I'm a mom and that I'm a wife and that I'm a Christian. And when you go to my profile, it says mama of 2, wifey and believer, because that's who I am in my heart. Am I a 6-figure mom? Yes. Do I have to prove that to people? No. I'm not in the business of proving that what I'm creating is, that's what I want to talk about with imposter syndrome. Is it's not your job to prove to others that your business matters or that what you're creating is worthy. It is not your job to prove that to people. And it sucks. I know when you get in this business and you're all excited, you hit your VIP at 100 and your mom doesn't understand, or your best friend's like, oh, that's cool, but that stuff's not really for me. It sucks. I get it. But you know what? That's why you have to surround yourself with a group of women who are going to believe in you and say, you know what, girlfriend, I can't wait for that day to come for you to cross this dream off your board. That's my circle. That's who I have to surround myself with constantly, because I have to be lifted up. So the people who don't find worth in what you're creating, those aren't your people. And you know what? That's more of a reflection of them than it is about you, okay? You're one step ahead. You don't have to be an expert. You just got to be one step ahead in what you're building, okay? Stop creating rules for your success. Can I just say that too? Like when I make X amount of dollars, when I make $500 a month, and all, people are really going to get my inbox, someone said to me one time, well, it's easy for you because you already have a story and people are already wanting to do business with you. And I'm like, where do you think I started? Like, that's what I love so much, is that we all start at zero. We all start with no sales experience. Oh my God. If I showed you sometimes my Facebook stories, and I'm sure a lot of us on here, they make us cringe. When I see my memories from Facebook, I'm like, oh my God, I would have never partnered with me in business, because it was just so me oriented. It was just so salesy. I had to fail my way here. Okay. We all start small. You guys just jumped in the middle of my chapter. Okay. So I've been hustling for a long, long time. So, don't ever feel like, well, when I hit 12K, then I'm going to, own that I'm an entrepreneur. No. You signed up to start a business. You are an entrepreneur, and you better own it and get excited about it. You have to get confident. You are not just a network marketer. Can we say that, please, twice? You are not just a network marketer. When someone asks what you do, and here's what I want you to get out of this. When someone, let's say you're in an elevator with someone, they're like, what do you do for a living? Or someone gets in your inbox and they say, hey girl, I've been following you. What do? You are just not a network marketer. I want you to dig deep and think about who you are and why you're here. And I know if someone asks me what I do, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I show other moms and women how to build part-time incomes and full-time incomes from home. I show women how to put their kids in private school. I show women how to send, how to have lunch money for their kids at school. We all start small. And I tell people, I'm like, we can go for grocery money, rent money, Disneyland money. I say that to every single person, because it's true. You can come in here and you can make any kind of money you want, but you got to start small. You have to understand. Oh, I wrote this down because it was like a tongue twister. You have to do things you don't necessarily love, in order to afford the ability to do what you love daily. Let me say that one more time. You have to be okay with doing things you don't necessarily love right now over and over again, in order to afford yourself the ability to do what you love daily. And I had to do so many things just like this. I would get on Zooms and hear all these women talk about how they were doing all the things. And I'm like, damn, why can't my chapter look like theirs? We have so much debt. I want to pay that off right now. You got to get good at the game. You can't just jump in, at third quarter and not do any work in the first and second quarter. You have to understand this is a business, and you have to treat it like one, which means you have to get educated. And the best way to do that is to do the thing. It's to take action. It is to talk to people. If you were a fly on my wall, you would see that I'm literally holding a baby, and messaging people when like I'm literally in my kitchen all the time, sending voice notes, walking up the stairs with a baby, going to do laundry, sending voice notes. I am talking to people all day and they're in my inbox. I get it. Not everyone gets in your inbox at the beginning and it's frustrating. But you know what happens? When you start to peel off those layers, you can't just advertise that like this business is like girl gang, hashtag, like you're in this business to change your life. You need to be vulnerable with people. People know still to this day right now, I don't care how much money I made last year. We're in a house that we're renting. Does society say by the time you're 30, you should own a house? Yeah, but you know what? It wasn't our time to own a house. And I'm so damn proud of this house because it has a backyard, because it's freaking beautiful. And it has a big kitchen. And we get to host holidays this year. That is a win in my book. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. Okay. So I want to get that out there. And I know we're achievement oriented. We want a certain amount of promoters and titles and all these things, but your impact, your true impact when you go to sleep at night is how many people you're helping, you guys. And I'm going to say this out of love. Okay. The only way to build a business is to put people on the computer, and you don't have to be scared of it. You don't have to be a mass enroller. I am not a mass enroller. I don't enroll 30 people a month. I get my free products credit on both accounts, and I bring in probably 4 to 6 new promoters a month. I'm not someone in the computer every day, and that's okay. You don't have to be, but your impact is how many people will keep going in this business because of your spirit. And can you mute out everyone real quick, and then I'll mute myself. I think someone's unmuted. Your impact is so much deeper than what your damn cloud office says. It's how you make other people feel. It's in the morning, are you the first one up posting in your chat? Are you sending them IPAs? Are you sharing your 3 steps on your story? I want to be the first one up on my tribe. I want them to know Katie's going to be posting a boomerang with Summer and her capsules. She's going to be, making her shake. Like, I'm so ready to be the first one up and doing things because I want to set that tone for the day for my tribe. You don't need to have perfection to build this business, okay? And you are going to have hard days. Yeah, I don't wake up every day like, yeah, I'm a boss. I got the day. I wake up some days where me and my husband are fighting. My son's being a complete sasshole. I don't even have peanut butter to make peanut butter and jelly because I forgot to go to the grocery store. I have those days, but I get over myself. I don't just show up as a leader on social media. Like, I got to lead myself. And when I'm in those moments, your girl's listening to Rachel Hollis. I'm turning on some jams. I'm jamming out to country music, doing laundry, and I remind myself who I am. And I say, God, I'm getting out of this funk that I am because I'm going to have a great day. I'm going to change lives. Like, literally, you would think I'm a psycho if you saw how much I talk to myself. I'm in control of this. And if this sucks, my day's going to suck. I'm not going to be the mom I need to be. I'm not going to be the wife I need to be. And I'm sure as hell not going to be the business owner I need to be. There's days where you're going to feel unfulfilled. But that's when you put your big girl panties on, you turn on a podcast, and you say, I'm here for it. I'm going to keep going. Not so much of the big goal, but you know what? We had double commissions last week. That can pay your light bill this week. If you put 2 customers in the system, everything doesn't have to be something huge, okay? Okay, so sorry, I'm talking a lot. I want to talk about one more thing before I bring it to Audrey. I want to talk about reducing fear. Fear will literally, it's the worst. Sometimes we don't even post things because we're like, oh, what if, okay. Our job is to create an environment that reduces fear. That is your job as a leader. How do we do that? Through belief in yourself. How do you take belief in yourself? You take action. You do things that scare you. You post things that feel uncomfortable. You have conversations that you don't feel confident in, but you do it anyways. You show up and you share even when you haven't put anyone in the computer in 2 weeks. You have belief in yourself, the product, this industry. I had no idea what I was ever capable of. And then I read my very first book. Everyone told me to read books, and I rolled my eyes. I'm like, I don't want to read books. I didn't get in this industry to read books. And then I read Go Pro by Eric Worre, and I realized, holy hell, I could really do this. I could really change the dynamic of our finances. I got educated, you guys, fiercely educated, not just in podcasts here and there, but I got educated on this. And it was to a point where like no one's fear or their biased opinion could get in my path because I knew I'm going to have a story one day. I'm going to have a story that inspires people. I'm going to have a backyard one day. How many times did you see me on Facebook Live saying, I'm going to have a nice kitchen in the backyard? For years. Okay? You got to be okay with the small wins along the way. Whether that's going to Lowe's and buying a $50 turtle sandbox for your kids and you weren't able to do it a year ago, you better be proud of that and own that. Those small wins, if they're not celebrated, you're not going to appreciate the big wins, okay? So imagine this. It's 6 months from now. Like I said, you're leading a tribe. You're teaching them skill sets. You're watching their lives change. How good is that going to feel? The only way for you to get there, you don't have to be scared of this business. It's as simple as talking to people and getting better and better. You have to show up daily on your social media, okay? You have to show up daily with your message and how you're getting it across to people. People need to know, why are you in this business? Why are you here? I always talk about where I was at, where I'm at now, and where I am going. Audrey, I feel like I've been talking for 20 minutes. You're probably like, damn girl, you better slow your roll. So I'm gonna bring Audrey on. You guys, Audrey is amazing. And I want to talk about, when I bring Audrey on, we're a hot mess all the time. That's why I love her. You guys, Audrey reached out to me in January, and I was so hyped. I'm like, yes, she's a boss. She ignored me for 6 months after. She ghosted me until June 28th. So do not underestimate the power of consistency. And I never got in her inbox like, Audrey, are you ready to join me? Are you ready to go? I let her come to me at her own pace, you guys, and she went 4K in 2 weeks, 12K in 2 months, and she's going 40K next month. That is the power of consistency and showing up. So, and I'm getting her out of her comfort zone because Audrey's really good at like IPAs and rolling. And I'm like, we're going to preach tonight. So we're going to get that comfort zone rock. So go ahead, because I just talked everyone's ear off.
I'm like sweating. So how many armpits? But okay. I just wanted to kind of, first of all, my name is Audrey. Hi, guys. I have been in marketing for 2.5 years, and I kind of just going to like share with you like my backstory, because I have been really learning how to be vulnerable since I started in this company. So like June 28th, obviously, as Katie said, is whenever I made the switch and came over here from a previous company. I had made it to the top 2% of that company, and I was so used to hiding behind these spammy messages and all these things that I didn't even know who I was anymore. I just, I was just so used to showing off how much money I made and all these things that I had and I was so unfulfilled, y'all. Like I was probably the most like saddest person. Like I had so much anxiety. I couldn't really function. I couldn't be nice to my kids because I just needed to send out more messages. And it was a mess. And I knew that in my heart that this industry was where I was supposed to be, but I was not in alignment with who I wanted to be with where I was. And so I had to find something new. And coming here has been the best decision that I could have made. Not necessarily like, has it been super easy? And that's what I've really had to get vulnerable about, because I can say all day long how beautiful it is and how happy I am and how amazing this company is and this compensation plan. But everybody relates to struggle. They don't relate to like being perfect. And that's what I really, whenever I first started in this company, I just tried to just keep on going with my perfect thing that I had going, right? Because I was showing all these people that I was just this perfect person. And that was hard. First of all, can we just say how hard it is to pretend to be something that you're freaking not? Because I am a hot mess all the time, just like you said. Like I am such a mess. It's ridiculous. But I'm real and I'm me. And like there's so many other people that can relate to just that hot mess mom. Like that's so relatable. And I heard so many people say, you're your secret sauce. I heard people say that all the time, and I just like, okay, cool. Like, whatever, but it's so freaking true. Like, peeling off the mask and just being yourself has been the most freeing thing that I've ever done in my life. Like, I got on a live after getting on these Zooms because I make sure that, I plug into these things so I can stay on fire and I can stay, inspired, because it does get hard. And it does get, especially going from making a lot of money to transferring and, all that stuff. And now, my family and I are back on WIC and we're on food stamps, and, our car could get repoed tomorrow. I'm living with my brother-in-law. Like, there's a lot of struggle going on, and my life is uncomfortable, but it's exciting that I'm uncomfortable, but I know that it's not going to be like this forever. Like, I have hope. And by me sharing my struggle and by being vulnerable and getting on a live and straight just looking at the camera and telling them that I'm on WIC, I went from making $10,000 a month to now I'm on WIC and I'm on food stamps, but I know it won't be like this forever. Do you know how many people got in my inbox were like, I needed to hear that? Thank you so much. Like, you inspired me. Like, and they don't necessarily want to join me, but you know what? I just gave them hope that they didn't have, because not everyone knows that they can come into an industry like this. Like, we have our hands on gold. Like, we can literally do whatever we want. Like she said, grocery money, Disney money, like, what do you want? Like, go get it. Like, you don't have to sit back and be in the struggle or be, who cares if 5 minutes ago, you screamed at your kids. Like, you can change it. Like, you're never like stuck in the same thing. Like, you're always able to change. And that's the power of this industry and this company and this compensation plan and these products. Like, there's so many different things that, like, if you're new or if you're transitioning or anything, like, you literally have your hands to take it and you can mold it into whatever you want. Just like a potter with the clay. Like, you're in control and just, like, you can go anywhere.
I want to bounce off of that really quick. And I want to say, when I told Audrey to be vulnerable, I didn't say share everything you're going through. I said go on Facebook Live and be vulnerable. And like 6 people got in her inbox that day. And like, you have to stop hiding behind this facade, you guys. You have to stop thinking that just because when you get your dream car, people are going to join you. Like, they're going to join you no matter what rank you are, because of the woman you are, the way you make them feel, the way you empower them. And when you start getting rid of that fear, you become a security blanket for other people to say, I want to do what you do, because you had the same fears I did. And the only way to do that, you guys, like I said, you don't have to be scared. It's to market yourself. Get good at your branding. Get good at the business, at communication. You have to master connection and relationships. Me and Audrey both know, and Em know, like, you can be a mass enroller all you want. But if you cannot master relationships and connections, you're not going to duplicate that to your team. You have to be able to show them, I was where you are. When potentials get in my inbox, scroll my page and let me know if you ever see anything about money or anything like that. I want my followers to know that I am humble, that me and my family, that, like, I want them to know Katie for who Katie is, not just a 200K who drives a BMW. I need them to know me and why I'm fighting and why I'm here and where I'm going. And I went Facebook Live and I was bold, and I said, you know what? I'm going to drop my daughter off at private school in 2.5 years. That's a bold statement to make. But I'm not afraid to do that. I'm not afraid to speak that out, because I know my skill sets and I know where that can take me. And I want you to ask yourself right now, your skill sets, what are they? You have to get good at talking to people. And when your skill sets start to dominate, it eliminates not only fear for you in every conversation you have, but it eliminates the fear of your tribe. And like I said, you become that security blanket. And we all start small, so don't be afraid. And we're in sales. This is a roller coaster business, I will tell you. But your most powerful months are not necessarily going to be when you get a big paycheck. It's going to be when you look back and say, I overcame that season that tried to destroy me. I overcame that season when, X amount of people left my business and my check dropped, but I overcame it and I became an incredible leader with perseverance. And I'm able to show my tribe that that's the shit that wins. Perseverance. It's not your presets. I don't care. It is your perseverance and how much you can develop at getting better and better. Okay. I know you had some things you want to talk about, so I'll send it back to you.
Yeah. I just want to stress the fact that whenever so I started feeling it on my heart that I was.
Hold on. You're muted. You're muted. Does she hear me? Okay. Yes, Audrey, you're muted. Okay, you're good now. You're good.
Okay.
We didn't hear
Perfect. Okay. So, I said, I just want to stress to y'all, like, whenever I started feeling this on my heart that I needed to be more authentic, that I was trying to act like everything was unicorn and rainbows in my life, I couldn't bring content that was valuable to people because I wasn't being real. Like, I wasn't being honest. Like, I was trying to sugarcoat everything. And whenever I finally felt like I could come out and I could say, the hard things that I was ashamed. Like, I felt ashamed and embarrassed. And I just want to say, like, if you're in a situation right now that you think like you have to hide it, that is 100% the devil. Okay. And he's trying to make you hide it because he knows as soon as
You just got muted. You're muted again. I don't know why it keeps muting you. This is also.
Can you hear me?
Okay, good now. Okay, I don't know why it keeps doing that. Go ahead.
So, anyways, I started realizing that the enemy was getting into my head, and he was telling me to be ashamed and to be embarrassed, and you got to hide that. Like, no one can know that you have to swipe your food stamp card to buy your kids groceries. Like, don't tell anybody that. Like, oh wait, we don't want to do that. And I started just feeling this heavy weight on my shoulders. Like, no, like, I won't swipe my food stamp card 3 months from now. I can tell you that right now. My food stamp card will be cut up. I won't have to use it again. But the girl that cries herself to sleep or feels like she can't breathe because she doesn't know how she's going to feed her babies, she doesn't have hope, I was hiding that hope from her by not sharing that struggle. Like, your story and your struggles unlock the prison of somebody else. Somebody else is sitting in their house right now going through something similar to what you're going through. You have hope and they don't. You unlock their hope when you share yours. And so, like, it's so powerful. Like, it's so much more than a business and money. And yes, all that stuff is amazing. And I was so money focused, it was stupid. If you would have met me 5 months ago, all I was worried about was that paycheck coming in. I didn't care about you, and I didn't care about you, and I didn't care about you. All I wanted was that money. And ever since I started realizing that it's not only about me, like, it's so much bigger than all of that. Like, it took this knocking me down and being in the position that I'm in and being so freaking uncomfortable to realize that, like, there's so much power in this. God doesn't get, like, these things don't happen for, your pain doesn't have to be in vain, okay? Like, it's not in vain. You are the key to somebody else. And, like, that is the power of this industry. We're given a platform, and not only are we able to bring in an income and be at home or whatever you want to do with this income, like, it's amazing that I'm able to be here with my babies and I'm able to make a paycheck from my phone. Like, that is the most amazing thing, right? There's so much power in that. But do you know how much more power it is to be able to hand that over and give that to somebody else too? And you can't do that until you get vulnerable and until you get real with yourself and you figure out what you want and where you're going and you find your hope. And then you can spread it like wildfire, and it creates ripples, and it just grows and grows and grows. And it might seem like it's really slow and you're not going as fast as you want to, but all of a sudden you're going to look up and you're going to have helped this mom get off WIC, and you're going to help this family be able to take their car and not get it repoed, and you're going to be changing lives. You're not just making a paycheck and paying for all this stuff and getting these awesome cars and everything else and getting bags and eyelash extensions and all the things I was so obsessed with, which I still love my eyelash extensions, but that's here nor there. Like, I'm just saying, those things are awesome, but that doesn't give you any fulfillment inside of you. And when you guys just find that strength and that courage, because courage and vulnerability have to go together. You can't be vulnerable without your courage. And so as soon as you guys find that and you guys mesh them and you just let it out, I'm telling you, you're not only going to be able to change your business, but you're going to change your own heart and your own mind, and you're going to change so many others too.
Yes, dude, that was fire. And so many people are crying right now because that shit's relatable. I cuss a little, but I love Jesus, okay? And I'm about to spit a Bible verse to you. And I wrote it down because Matthew 25:18-30, it says, what did you do with what was given to you? And I could never imagine the day, like, I mean, even right now, like, God just looking at me, just being like my child. I took you out of college for a reason. I put you on WIC for a reason. I did all of these things because it is part of your story. It is part of the woman you're becoming. You can't just skip the difficult stuff and get put on stage. You get built. You develop those entrepreneurial muscles. You find strengths inside you that push you through seasons that you want to be in right now, but you wouldn't survive if you get pushed there. I've built so many people to 12K who weren't ready for it, and they're gone. And then there's people who I come in and don't do anything, and they're 4K and they're strong, and they're a 4K making $300 a week. Your rank doesn't determine your paycheck, and Kelly Thomas, the Queen of Green, can tell you that right now. It is your personal enrollments and how many lives you're changing. How many people you're getting on balance in the 3 steps. How many people you're putting in the computer and saying, lock arms with me, sis. Let's get you to VIP 800. And the only way to do that is to have confidence within yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, no one's gonna be like, all right, let's go. Where's your website? You got to make them feel something. And Audrey getting in someone's inbox saying, girlfriend, I'm on WIC, but I'm going to be off it in a couple months. They're going to resonate with her and say, thank you for being vulnerable with me. I want to be where you are. You can't hide. Like, the greatest CEOs don't hide behind a computer and send emails all day. They're out in the field with their teams in action, creating vision and casting that and growing leadership and growing teams. They're not sitting behind a computer waiting for everyone else to do the work, okay? So, and I want you to think about these 3 things. I want you to think about, Jenna Kutcher calls it your story brand, and there's 3 questions. So when someone asks you what you do, I want you to think about, who do you serve, how do you serve them, and what is the end result? And when I wrote that down, I was thinking, I serve moms, I serve women, I teach them how to build an online business that can potentially turn into a full-time income beyond their wildest dreams. Do not be afraid to speak boldly about what you do. We hide behind these titles. Well, I work a full-time job, but I also run a side gig. That side gig can take your kids on vacations. That side gig that you're downplaying because you want to hide behind that corporate title or you want to hide behind something else, you're doing yourself a disservice because you're not stepping into those shoes of that woman you want to become. Once again, don't abandon the reason you started. That's all I want to say to you is there's a reason and there's a dream board you made. You maybe threw it away. You maybe don't look at it anymore. And there's dreams on there that you're going to look at and say, what the hell have I done? I haven't crossed any of these off. Get to work. You have a group of leaders here who probably 20 plus years experience combined who are here to love you. And we all have different strengths and weaknesses, but get to work. Like I just told you what my paycheck was last Christmas and what it was in May. That don't give you goosebumps and make you want to grind. I don't know what else to tell you, but I'm done. So you can share whatever you want. You have anything else?
Okay, one more thing. So I just want to say right now, because we're mid-month, right? We have like 13 days left of November to the end of the month. I just want to say right now, I don't care what you did yesterday. I don't care how your week was last month. I don't care what you did 5 minutes ago. You have the power to change it and to run and go exactly where you want to be. So if you're like sitting there and you're like, it's already mid-month, I already screwed up, I didn't stick to my schedule that I was going to do, I haven't done my IPAs, like, don't freaking care what you did 5 minutes ago. Change it. Get off this Zoom, hit some IPAs up, and then kill the rest of the month. Like, change your mindset. Stop worrying about how you already messed up and I'll just have to start over in December. No, you have 13 days. So much can freaking happen. And you guys are powerful beyond control. Do not downplay yourself. Be the boss babes that you are and just go freaking run after what you want. Don't stop.
Okay, love you guys. Have a good night. Bye.